Half a day, Guam. Welcome to our second episode of Let's Be Frank with Alicia. I'm Frank Blasagan Jr. and with me is...
Half a day. I'm Alicia Ann Garrido Limtiaco, and thank you very much for joining us.
Today we're at Simon Sanchez High School, and we're here to discuss legislation that was recently passed by the Guam legislature, and that's Bill number 204, that's 34, which would take the procurement process from the Guam Department of Public Works and give it to the Superintendent of Education, the Guam Department of Education.
And Frank, with the passage of Bill 204-34, what are the next steps?
Well, one of the things we need to recognize is that there's still an ongoing protest, and upon the resolution of that, then should the governor pass 204-34 into law, it would allow for the transfer of the procurement process over to the Guam Department of Education. I want to just let you know and share with you and our people out there that Bill 204, during the course of the 2.5 days of deliberation, was improved by virtue of allowing other flexible tools to be given to the Superintendent of Education. And I'm talking about an owner's agent engineer to be able to help facilitate the process and work with the superintendent. That and other flexible terms that were incorporated into the legislation. So I have every confidence that in this particular case, once the initiative is passed into law, that is going to definitely ensure that we realize the construction of a brand new Simon Sanchez High School.
Frank, I think as you know, the students here at Simon Sanchez have been so proactive and vocal about the concerns involving their learning environment, health and safety issues. I mean, these are students that really care about their futures and about not only their futures, but the futures of those students that come after them. And they have testified in the legislature along with their administrators, their teachers. Is there anything that you would like to share about some of what they've talked to you about?
This initiative would not have been possible without them continuing to insist that the Simon Sanchez High School be replaced and rebuilt. It's been 7 years and 4 different requests for proposals released out to the community to get to where we're at today. So I anticipate that with the implementation of these particular provisions, that Mr. Fernandez, the Board of Education, the community here at Simon Sanchez, that within a reasonable time frame we'll be able to see a brand new constructed Simon Sanchez High School. And in this case, that is our commitment to our students here at this particular school. There's another aspect of this that we also need to explore, and that is now looking for funding to address the repair and the renovation of some of the other schools that badly need some renovation for their facilities.
And with that in mind, we know that our future generations of children and leaders will be well equipped, will have the resources that they need to succeed.
Yes, absolutely, and it'll come back to what you had advocated back in 2008 with your school task force, and that is to ensure that all of our students are given an educational environment where safety is paramount, where they are provided with the tools and the resources, and they are provided with a facility that is sanitary. Thank you again, Alicia. Let's go back to a conversation that we had last week. I'd like to ask you to just share your experience with the Guam Public School System Safety and Healthcare Task Force that you really spearheaded many years back.
Thank you, Frank. Back about 10 years ago, when I was the Attorney General of Guam, I established the Guam Public School System Health and Safety Task Force. The task force educated itself about each of its responsibilities and mandates, went into the schools as a team to conduct those inspections and identified any health and safety concerns and violations. I believe by June of 2008, all of the 37 schools at the time were inspected, and there were 6 closures of schools, and the remaining may have had partial closures. When those deficiencies were then addressed, then the schools were reopened. A concern, of course, that was extremely critical at the time was the John F. Kennedy or JFK campus. And I think many of our community members know that the school suffered major structural damages. Certainly, there were a number of concerns about safety. And eventually, as we know, JFK has been rebuilt, very fortunately for our community. Thank you again for joining us. We know know that there are so many issues and concerns that all of you would like to talk about, and we really do want to hear from you. So we encourage you very strongly, please do reach out to us and share your issues and concerns. We look forward to hearing from you.
And I want to also thank you very much for joining us in this episode. I certainly hope that the topic is of interest to you, and we encourage you to reach out to us through letsbefrankwithalicia@gmail.com or through any of our social media platforms. Thank you very much. Undonklu na Jesus Masi, and maraming salamat po.
Thank you.
I'm Frank Blasagun Jr., and I approve this message.